Hi guys, namaskar. So today's thing is about why I'd rather support Trump than Kamala. It's simple. I feel Trump is easier to replace than Kamala because Kamala brings a systems. Kamala represents a system, and Trump is basically a person, an individual who is quite replaceable. And I feel in the next 10 years or so, when he finishes his tenure after 4 years, not many people will remember. I mean, people will remember him as a president, but yeah, I mean, it's just that he'll be one of the presidents of United States because there is no there is no such coherent system running behind Trump, whereas Kamala is the representation of a system, the system that brings regulation, and that is the cause of many things. This regulation is the cause of chronism, the cause of uh, the cause of poverty, the cause of uh, this woke mindset, the cause of not maybe the cause of religious fanaticism, but yeah, supporter of religious fanaticism, conservatism, and yeah. So I'm going to tell you how uh, the system that Kamala brings with her, the regulative, the authoritative, the centralized, very hardened kind of a system that Kamala brings is cause of all the things I just mentioned. How does cronyism come in a very regulated society? It comes because people understand that the most powerful people of that society are the people who are making the regulations. So people start siding with those regulators, and that is how cronyism starts. Same goes for poverty also. When there's cronyism, there's a class divide that happens. And when there's class divide, that perennial poverty stricken condition of people who are not really close to the regulators, and they are usually more in numbers, are always struggling and poor and trying to make ends meet. Religious conservatism. Why does it support religious conservatism? Because the regulation that Kamala's system brings is under the guise of inclusivity. And because the system has to show that they are very inclusive, they cannot really come out in the open to oppose in a very hard way religious conservatism, fanaticism. And of course, then lastly, the woke mindset. We all know that when somebody says, I identify myself as a hawk, the bird, or I identify myself as a dog, or I identify myself as, I don't know, 10 animals, 20 animals, this, that, and whatever. I'm in a normal society, people will call those people crazies. But because Kamala's system has to show inclusivity, they have to include those crazes and bring them into the mainstream, which I feel, as a father of a young boy, is extremely difficult to take. I'll From my personal experience, I will tell you, when I was watching the Paris Olympics opening ceremony with my son sitting beside me, and I remember there was some song, and somebody with beard and in a lady's dress, very revealing lady's dress, was singing. He asked me, why is that man wearing uh, a lady's dress? And I had to tell him that uh, some men identify themselves as women, and that's why they dress up like women, which I feel wasn't normal for my son to understand, and wasn't normal for my son to go through to process that information. So Kamala's system will include all these weird things happening in the society, and this becoming mainstream, and um, young kids, 10-year, 11-year, 12-year-olds, having to determine their gender, and they choosing and studying about what uh, sexual orientation, or what gender, or whatever. I can't really uh, think about all the details at this moment. I think it's very easy to look up in Google about this woke thing. And yeah, Kamala's system cannot oppose them, and which I feel is one of the major reasons that we may face a population collapse in the next 50 to 100 years. Because as you already know, in the West, the population collapse threat is real, and it's already happening. Fortunately, in India, we are always overpopulated, and yeah, we have enough people, but at the same time, we have a lot of religious conservatism and fanaticism, and of course, with now the new set of inclusivity of all the class and all the caste and all that, that's another kind of woke mindset, I would say. So yeah, I'd rather vote I'll rather support an individual who is easily replaceable. Because if you think carefully, tomorrow, if it's not Trump and it's Vivek Ramaswamy, nobody will bat an eyelid, nobody will miss Trump. But tomorrow, if it's not Kamala and Michelle Obama, that's a better representation of the system that I just mentioned. And that is the real danger. The system of regulation which creates all the problem, creates poverty, creates mental sickness, creates all kinds of negative things that you can think of and you can relate it to a centralized authoritative system and a very regulated regime. So yeah, I hope I've been able to convey what I wanted to properly. If you like it, or if you want to add it, anything, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.